Well, this is the first time we're talking to you since you came back to Doctor Who, and since this new departure in which these two series are between the BBC and Disney. I mean, presumably that's allowed you to have the budgets that you want.
It has. It's very, I mean, as ever, the money gets spent in a second in this show. But yes, it's very nice. And it's still a BBC show, but it does give us the chance to, I think in the old days, I'm not quite sure how we would have afforded this Christmas special. Do you know what we would have? We'd have found a way and we'd have done it. It's not all about the money.
What's different then? I'm interested in that.
I mean, yes.
What difference does money make?
Part of the reason
you came here in a nicer car.
It's not spent on me, believe me. It's partly that the BBC made a move to go to a streamer. It's still on BBC One here. It's still on the iPlayer. It's just the rest of the world. It goes out on Disney+. And the BBC thought, and they went to me because they thought the show deserved to look as good as Stranger Things, as the Star Wars shows. Why should we be the humble little show being made in a shoe cupboard? And I think that's the way everything is heading. Let's face it, every single drama you ever watch on television has had American money or co-production money in it for about 25 years. So this is actually nothing new. This is just the next step. And it's a lovely experiment. We've had a great time. And I think we've made shows that really show that off. And we show Britain at its best as well. British crews, entirely British writers and directors. It shows us off worldwide.
So if it hadn't happened to Doctor Who, would it have survived, do you think? Or would it just be, it would be very obvious looking at it that it's made on a budget?
It's a fool who doubts Doctor Who's future. I think it's 61 this year, and it just, yes, it would have found some different shape, some different form. It's like there is a version that could go out late at night on BBC Three. Believe you me, in my head, there's 20. It always has survived like this. It's been radio shows, it's been novels, it's been comic strips. It's a great, fundamentally brilliant idea all the way back in 1963.
How long do you think you'll stay with it, Doctor Who?
Oh, I don't know. I'm loving it. It's like we don't know if there's a third series yet, so we're going to make this will go out in the summer, then they'll decide, and the BBC will decide as well its future. But I'm happy to stay with it. I love it. It's more fun than anything else.
What about the business? I mean, Christmas is a huge time for television, always has been, and yet, of course, now with streaming, etc.
Yeah.
What about the kind of business of people all sitting down? I'm thinking families in particular.
Yes.
At a moment with each other. To watch something, which you assume, I don't know what the figures are, you assume does still happen to an extent on Christmas Day, but it doesn't the rest of the time.
Christmas Day more than any other. It is swinging towards streaming, unashamedly. It's like, I think over 50% of the figures are now from iPlayer, as opposed to BBC One, which, as a 61-year-old man, is strange to me. I can't imagine it. I see it watching proper old terrestrial television myself. Christmas Day more than any other will be everyone sitting down together. I mean, we should all go and bet on the viewing figures for Gavin and Stacey, frankly, because aren't we all just dying to see that? I mean, I think you're talking about 10 million there, which is very exciting. So I hope we can pick up some of that draft as well. But and that you allow for that in a Christmas special. You make it a bit more open. You don't tie it down with continuity. It's people who might not have seen Doctor Who for a couple of years will be sitting there in front of the telly, and you've got to allow for them to come and watch it.